Greetings and salutations. We are continuing the playthrough with Martin de Chateau, a Breton Mage Knight. We're going to be doing the Knights of the Nine quest line, as well as a number of the side quests and miscellaneous quests in my heavily modded version of Oblivion. Let's see. I think if you talk to the Norwegian Goods and Trade owner's daughter first, her disposition goes up much higher. So we're going to hit the chapel first, since we have a disease we need cured, and maybe we'll find her on the way. Talk to her, get the disposition up, then unload the loot that we got from defeating the Marauders while doing the, I think it's When the Vow Breaks is the name of the last quest we did. On that note, I actually reloaded and decided not to give back the mace yet. So, I will probably eventually, but it doesn't make much sense to trade in the mace for 20 gold at this point. It is a pretty good weapon with the shock damage and weakness to shot. It's doing an extra like 300% damage. 6 points, it normally does 3 points, so that's tripling its damage output, which is quite nice. Now, I could get some spells around here, and that would be handy, but I think I'm going to wait on that and save up my gold. We were going to get some modded armor from this new store over here. Let's take a look. It is the Knight's Desire. It's added by the Knightly Armory mod.
Go ahead, please.
I thought it'd be pretty cool for a Knight of the Nine character.
Have a look around.
To get some of
you
his
won't
gear.
find better prices in all Tamriel.
So he's got some fine weapons, but he's also got some unique weapons, like the steel poleaxe, which is a two-handed blunt weapon, and a lot of unique armor, like the armet, the crested helm, the dragon, cuirass, and kite shield, and the great helms, griffin armor, horned helmet, which looks a bit like, if you've ever played Medieval 2 Total War, the Teutonic expansion. Looks kind of like their armor. Plate armor. There's a sugarloaf helm, which sounds pretty sweet. And a studded leather cuirass for light armor characters. But we're going heavy armor, so we probably won't check that out.
You too.
Now, I've estimated that we need around 5,000 gold to be able to get a full suit of it. Stat-wise, I think it's equivalent to Ebony armor. So it'll be pretty good.
Well met.
Oh, here she is.
Hello, I don't think we've met. Are you new in town?
I am. I'm Martin de Chateau. Pleased to meet you.
Likewise. I'm always glad to meet someone new. Welcome. I'm sure my mother would be glad to meet you as well.
Your mother works here?
My mother owns this shop. She would be glad of your business.
Well, let's give her some.
Be seeing you. Only the finest wares to buy and barter at Northern Goods and Trades. I'm Sidneus, the proprietor. How can I help you?
Let's check disposition first.
All right.
Yeah, I'm positive now. If you talked to her before, she's only got 44 disposition. But if you talk to her now that I've talked to her daughter, it's jumped up an extra 20 points. So, good idea to talk to her daughter before you go shopping with her. At least if you have a character like mine, he's kind of low on
May I
speechcraft.
interest you in some of my fine wares?
So, let's sell some of the stuff that I'm carrying. I'm going to try at 160% of the value, so that's 57, getting about 57% of the total cost of the items. We'll start with this Potion of Fortune.
A good price for a good customer.
Succeeded, so we'll drop it a couple. Try selling this Cure Potion. Good. Drop it a couple more. This is probably too far.
You're trying to drive me out.
Go up a couple.
That's a fair deal.
That's about as far as I can drop. We're going to hang on to these books. They're full of lore to do with the history of the Knights of the Nine. I'll read over them before we do the pilgrimage quest line. And then when we're going around finding different way shrines, I'll sort of sum up the history, the lore behind the Knights of the Nine. I've already talked a little bit about the 8 divines. Then Talos, who is a dragonborn. You've probably heard of him if you played the Skyrim quest line. He got made into one of the 9 divines as well. You can actually encounter his character in
I've never really thought about it. I've heard the money is good, but
Ghost Gate in Morrowind?
Risk for me.
Okay. So, let's see.
What's
Quest.
the use from the other parts of
You know what I
town?
think? I think I forgot to sell off my bow again. Let me check and make sure I did that. Yeah. So let's hop over here to Rashida's. Get rid of my bow. Normally I have an archer character, but I was thinking this character will just rely entirely on destruction magic
It's
and
my
melee
pleasure.
weapons.
Please continue.
So no bow.
Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to see. You're trying to drive me out of business. You're trying to drive me out.
A bit on the stingy side.
That seems a fair price.
You know, the arrows are actually a pretty good item to loot early on and sell. So you get a gold for each of them, and they weigh fairly light, so 7 pounds for 70 gold, as opposed to something like 21 pounds for 44 value.
Tell your friend. Be seeing you.
Let's pop into here. Should be able to find a quest pretty easily.
Hello. You haven't seen my sons, have you? They went off into the forest to fight those monsters, and I'm worried about them. My sons. Have you seen my sons?
I'm afraid I have not seen your sons.
Yes, Rallis and Antis. They're going to fight off the creatures at our farm, but I fear for their safety.
Tell me more of these creatures.
For the last few days, we've suffered attacks from these creatures at our farm not far from Coral. They're coming from someplace in the Great Forest. I don't know where, but Rallis may know more by now. My boys will take up the fight, even if the guards won't. Doesn't matter if it's outside the town walls, it still affects us all. They expect me to go with them, but I fear in my old age I'm not the warrior I once was. Would you go in my place?
Sure, old-timer, I'll help out.
Somehow, I knew you'd do the right thing. I'm supposed to meet them at Wayne Priory. You'd best get whatever supplies you need now, so you can get there in time. I need a drink to calm my nerves. Please, excuse me.
Okay, so I did do this quest when I played through the main quest line. With, I think her name was Karina, was my character. But I'm going to do it again because it does seem like a good quest for a knightly character. And the reward is pretty nice, if you can keep the sons alive. I view Martin de Chateau to be an older man. He's sort of tired of fighting for more mortal causes, I guess, like more government causes. Probably served for a few different kings in High Rock.
Antis, calm down.
And tired of it, so he joined the Legion to fight for the Empire,
This is
thinking
going to
that...
be the greatest fight ever. This is no joke, Antis, and it's nothing to be excited about. If you don't want to be doing this, then why are you even here? Father and I can handle this. I'm here because even though I'm afraid, I know that we have to do this. Father would feel the same way. Father's not scared. Don't you dare say that. You'll see when he gets here. I'll ask him, and then you'll see.
So as I said, Martin's kind of got kind of tired of fighting for different squabbling kings in High Rock, so he joined the Legion, thinking to help unify the Empire.
Who are you?
No, he's kind of disillusioned with the way the Legion does things, and so he's retired, and now he's just seeking out good causes to fight for. He's probably a little worried after hearing these two young men argue
Who are you?
what he's gotten himself into.
I'm afraid I have no time for small talk, friend. I'm waiting for my father, Valis Odil. Have you seen him in town by any chance?
Yes, your father asked me to take his place in this fight.
He's not coming with us? I think I understand, and it is better that he remains safe. Though I wonder why he has asked you to take his place. You would join us, though you have no personal stake in this fight? An honorable deed. I gladly accept your help then. There's no point in waiting here any longer. Follow me.
I do kind of wish that they assigned these two NPCs to follow your character, and that way we could get there in a more reasonable amount of time, rather than sort of waiting as they walk along at a comfortable pace. I feel like Oblivion tried too hard to evoke realism in some areas. Like having to wait for characters to slowly walk around, and the shops having certain open and closing times, and people having their own unique schedules. It sort of takes away from the fun a little bit. To me, at least. Not everybody will feel that way, though. But for me, particularly the slow walking, reminds me of my first attempt to play an MMO online. It was Neverwinter Nights 2, a modded game. I forget what it was called, like Dark Age of Britain or something like that, where it was based in the time of Arthur and King Uther, and it had a lot of mythology about those times. Like, I remember you could play as Saxons, or what were some of the other groups? Saxons and Danes and Changelings, and I remember when I first joined it, I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. And then everybody was walking around slowly. It was hard to tell who were NPCs and who were actual players. It seemed like it was populated by gamers whose only reason for playing the game was to try to pretend that this was their real life, and therefore they sort of walked around like NPCs, you know, kind of aimlessly, and while entering text that made it hard to distinguish who were other gamers and who were NPCs. And the first quest I got, let's do a quick save here real quick. We'll do this quest and then I'll finish my story.
Filthy vermin.
Let's hotkey this. Equip it.
Stay focused. Watch your backs
Some
and be
attach
careful.
magic.
Antis, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Defend yourselves. Here they come. I'm supposed to be impressed.
There we go. More of them coming this way. That guy's beefy. Oh yeah, they're defeated. I should return to Coral and tell Valis Odil his sons are safe. Okay.
Let's go see my father, and let him know of our victory. We beat them! We slaughtered them all! Did you see? Did you see how well I fought?
Just a little cocky. Let's see, steel dagger. Sometimes you can get a nice weapon from that goblin, like a steel axe or a steel longsword, but no luck this time. Well, I'm gonna fast travel back into town. I might as well grab some more of these weapons and sell them off. So, back to my story. I was saying that it bothered me that all the people in the MMO world were just pretending to be NPCs. I remember the first quest I got, which was to stop a group of Danes that were raiding the countryside, and I found a group that actually seemed to be playing the quest, and I joined them. And then they started slowly walking, like really slowly walking towards the quest site. And I do not joke, it took almost all the time I had that evening. I think I had like 2 hours, and it took more than an hour for us to actually get to any action. It was really weird and kind of disappointing. Okay, let's make sure I have enough darts to carry the reward, and I do.
You're back, and you've brought my sons with you. How wonderful!
Okay, we defeated the creatures. They were goblins.
Foul things. They deserve the death you've brought them.
Okay, and both of your sons are unharmed.
My boys are safe. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for sticking with them and helping a foolish old man. Please, take this. I won't be needing it any longer. My battles are over. I plan to live out my days on the farm in peace and quiet.
Okay, nice.
Good day.
So Chillrend is a weapon that you can get in Skyrim as well. It's actually better in Skyrim. It's a longsword. You get it during the Thieves Guild questline, and in addition to doing frost damage, it also paralyzes the enemy. In this one, it does frost damage and frost weakness, so it's like a frost and sword equivalent of Rock Shatter. So very nice. It looks sweet. Looks like it's made out of that, I think it's called Stralren? Sorry, having a bit of trouble pronouncing it there. But it's like ice that forms around corpses in the burial mounds of Solstein. And they forge into weapons, and it looks like a blue ice. That's what Chillrend looks like to me. It was made out of. But I don't actually know the lore behind it. Let's see. Very sweet. So, it does about 6 points more of damage, so quadrupling its total damage output when it's enchanted, and it can use 91 times. So, I think I'm going to hang on to that. Get rid of the fine iron longsword. Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Actually, I should not have my weapon drawn. That's going to
Farewell.
lower my chances of getting a deal. See if we can actually sell this weaponry to the merchant. It should give us better prices. Rashida is
Greetings, fellow Breton.
a bit of a stickler.
Go ahead, please.
Let's see.
May I interest you in some of my fine wares?
It does not look like we can sell weapons. I think we need to get our mercantile up to 25 or 50. I think it's
Take care.
25. But I could be wrong. Every 25 skill increases in Oblivion, you get a perk that's associated with that skill. So sort of, you can see how Skyrim sort of evolved on that
Well met.
to make it so that you could actually select from a skill tree of perks, whereas this one just assigns a perk.
Have a look around.
Depending on whether
You won't
you're at
find
25
better prices
or
than all
50 or
Tamriel.
75 or 100 skill. Okay. Let's try that.
I can't make that.
Oh, she really is refusing to give me a good deal. So we'll have to start at selling our items for less than half their value.
That's more than... That's a fit.
Start with the cheap stuff.
And that's a good deal. A good price for a good customer.
Let's see. Do I want to hang on to that? Yeah, I got 3 magic weapons.
That's a fair deal.
Alright then.
Tell your friend.
So going back to my story about my
Take
MMO
care.
experience, I guess what I'm saying is I feel like some video games try too hard to add, to make, I guess, their worlds realistic, and some gamers get a little too much into that for my taste. I prefer the game to be able to be played in a reasonable amount of time and to be fun, as opposed to being realistic and kind of repetitive and maybe not so much fun. Okay, we're gonna save here, and I think that's where we're gonna leave off for today. And I'll be back with another
Hail!
episode and quest soon.